Everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys a very important episode of Sweaty Thursday, because this weekend for your climbing, two things. One, it's the last weekend you have to climb before seasonal lock-in, and two, Last Chance Gauntlet is this weekend. So if you're one of the players that can only really afford to play on the weekend because you have a family, a 9-to-5 job, whatever it may be that prevents you from playing a bunch of games throughout the week, and you really just have the weekend to play a majority of your games, this is really the last weekend you have before we have seasonal cutoff next week for your Worlds points, for your seasonal qualification. And then also this week going on is the Last Chance Gauntlet. As you see here, the Last Chance Gauntlet opens in 1 day. So this is going to be your gauntlet if you're not top 700 masters, or you want to guarantee you can qualify for seasonals, and you don't want to stress about losing your LP on ladder and stuff like that, then this is going to be the place for you. This is the Last Chance Gauntlets this weekend. It's what all your prime glories have been, are going to go towards, all that cool stuff. So very, very important weekend if you are a grinder and you want to prepare and get ready for the seasonal championship that is next week. Yeah, seasonals is next week, a week from Saturday. So very, very cool. Very cool. So these are the decks I would recommend you play for ladder, and then also I'll give you guys some lineups as far as decks to play in lineups, and I'll have all the codes and stuff, all the links down in the description below. But before we get into the video, I wanted to remind you guys that 68% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me. So if you guys could do me a huge favor, click that subscribe button. I'm always putting out competitive content for you guys. This season I posted a little bit less consistently, but that's because I was going so hard in the paint trying to qualify for Worlds. I'm right here, I'm rank 11 now. It's sad, I was at rank 10, but rank 11 right now. I need to end rank top 25 to qualify for Worlds. So, hopefully I still get there. There's about a 60 LP gap between me and the next person. So we'll see. I'll probably camp it out until I'm forced to play again on like the last day or second to last day or something. But yeah, I did a lot of that climbing with Taric, which is going to be the first deck we're going to talk about here. So as far as this weekend, decks I would use to climb, Taric. I have had an insane run with this the last 2 days, really just yesterday since the patch dropped and everyone's playing TF Swain, or really just Swain decks in general. I'm 21-5 against Swain decks with this version. This version is heavily teched to beat Swain decks. You see I'm on triple Ranger's Resolve. That's to help you against the TF red cards, the Make It Rains, the Ravenous Flock, stuff like that. Anything that deals exact damage, Ranger's Resolve fucks it up. It gets rid of all their like shitty chump blockers too, if they have like house spiders, stuff like that. Really good. Then I'm on triple Guiding Touch again to counter the damaging spells like Ravenous Flocks, Scorched Earth, stuff like that. If your unit only has 2 damage on it, you can Guiding Touch in response, and then it will make the spell fizzle unless they have another damaging spell, which in that case, you're forcing them to have even more cards. So they're already have to 2-for-1 you most of the time because they're in Noxus PNZ or they're in Noxus Bilgewater. So their deck's pretty bad at removing full health units, so they have to use 2 cards. So Guiding Touch makes them use a 3rd card or have to have a 3rd card, and then your second threat is even more likely to stick around. On top of your triple Rangers, triple Guiding Touch, I'm on 1 Bastion. This is really good. This lets you develop into Stun Spider. So you can develop on your turn, and then if they try to stun you with the Arachnoid Sentry, you can Bastion in response, and then again it forces them to have another card, in which case then that's 1 less card they have in the future, and you quickly outvalue them and you force them to get rid of all of their cards really quick with this version. And then of course anytime they tap under, anytime you have like a full HP Taric or anything like that, or you have a read that they don't have a removal spell for the Taric, you can just go Exodia mode, play Golden Ages, target your Taric, attack 3 times in a turn, level your Poppy in 1 turn, stuff like that. So deck is extremely solid, very good into aggro as well. I know Fearsomes has been popping up, so if you can open with like Fleet Feather Tracker, Esmus, Laurent Protege, Terry, stuff like that, like your whole deck, as you don't have any actual fearsome blockers, but you have so many ways to create fearsome blockers, which is pretty nuts. So like, first of all, Poppy just makes everything a fearsome blocker. So if you have Poppy, you kind of just win the game. But also Esmus, boom, turns this into a fearsome blocker. So now it's a 3-5 challenger. So you're going to kill 1 fearsome attacker and then block another one. So you get, a nice little 2-for-1. Same with the Fleet Feather Tracker and Esmus. Same with like the Darkened Lodestone. You can put this on something, make it a fearsome blocker. There's a lot of things you can do to make fearsome blockers and then just remove your opponent. as well as most fearsome decks don't actually have a way to kill your champions. So there is a chance where you just go like play Taric on 4, play Poppy on 5, you know, attack, rally, or attack, rally, attack, and you just Exodia them on turn 5 because they just can't do anything against you. They can't stop your units, they can't kill your units, and you just level your Poppy in 1 turn and kill them. So your fearsome matchup is going to be really good. Your Swain matchup seems pretty good so far. Your Nami matchup isn't too bad because you can apply a lot of pressure. If you open like Ibex into Esmus, you're probably winning that game because you're attacking for a lot of damage. You just apply a shit ton of pressure, and then again, as their turn 5 is when they want to play their Shelly, that's when they want to play their Nami. If they tap out or spend a lot of mana on that turn 5 with their Lee Sin even, you just go like, okay, here's my Taric, here's my Rally, and you could just kill them in 1 turn. Or you play Mountain Sojourners and then like open attack, force them to have a bunch of spells, and then go, okay, you just had a bunch of spells to survive, here's a Rally, kill you. So overall, I think Poppy Taric is probably the best deck to climb on ladder if you don't know how to play Nami Ionia. Because it's going to be, it's kind of hard to target. I don't think many people are targeting. I think it's very under the radar right now. I think people know it exists, but I don't think enough people like think it's like one of the best decks. And actually the only reason I know is because I was looking at the leaderboard here and I saw Sir Termund jumped all the way up to rank 2 out of basically nowhere, checked, and this is literally just his list. Like he was playing Poppy Taric. I changed it around to give myself the triple Rangers resolve for this meta because he played it before the Swain got buffed and before the patch dropped. So I literally just like took this guy who just hit rank 2 700 LP with it, and yeah, and I think we're the only 2 people in all of top 16 playing Poppy Taric. So yeah, I think the deck is extremely underrated right now. I think not enough people respect it. I think not enough people are playing it. I don't think enough people are prepared to play against it, and that makes it extremely strong. Deck number 2 I'm going to talk about just for a brief moment is of course Nami Ionia. If you know how to play this deck's insane. Even if you don't know how to play this deck, the deck's really good. The deck is just powerful enough to really carry you. You don't need to make too many hard decisions, because especially depending on what elo you're in or what decks you're playing against, a lot of times you can just go like slam Nami on 5, slam Shelly, like play a bunch of spells, kill your opponent, and they just kind of walk into your spells and walk into you killing them. And yeah, not too much to really be said here. Deck is insanely strong. This is basically an auto ban. It's seasonals, auto pick, auto ban. Deck is insanely strong. There's not too many lineups that can counter it. There's not too many decks in general that can beat it. So yeah, it's really strong. It's going to be really good into the Swain decks because you play Concussive Palm, Homecomings. You can even like main deck a Will of Ionia if you want to. Just like make sure that you're really good against the Swain decks. So yeah, so decks is insanely positioned, not too much to speak on there, still really good. And then the third deck I'm going to recommend is going to be Veigar Norra. So this is just like the Heimer Norra that was created in APAC or popularized by APAC players. First person at 1000 LP this season. At that point he had more LP than NA and EU combined. NA rank 1 and EU rank 1 combined, so props to them. But it's kind of evolved a lot since then. People started playing Veigar because Veigar is just a lets you be proactive. A lot of people ask the questions, why Heimer over Veigar or vice versa, and it's because Veigar lets you be proactive. Veigar lets you play actual good units. You get to play Twisted Catalyzer, which is an actual good unit. You get to play the Darkness spell, which is an actual good unit. Extali, good unit. Des Ada is essentially just one mana or one-sided ruination, right? Like it's all just really solid. And on top of that, you still have your broken Norra package that, you know, the Heimer version plays, where you're just like, oops, you didn't deal with my Norra, haha, you know, here's a bunch of crazy units. So yeah, I think if you're gonna play Norra, you should for sure be on Veigar. Don't be on Heimerdinger. It's just strictly worse. And if you are on Heimerdinger, like the Sneezy Biggle Dust plan is not going to be better than your Darkness plan, I promise you. Yeah, so this version is really good. This deck's going to be good into Swain also, because you should be able to quiet anything that matters. And then they play Swain, and then you go, okay, Vengeance. And then they play Leviathan, and you're like, okay, Darkness it. And they play the second Swain, you say, okay, like Vengeance it or something. And it's essentially just going to be too slow. And you don't play enough high-quality units to make the removal really worth it. The only units that they really want to be removing actively is like Norra. So you're gonna have a hard time sticking Norra, but if you just wait and you play like a bunch of other units first, threaten like a small like shitty aggro plan, force their removal out, and then play Norra, get some like once she's leveled. This is a big trick that I like to do, is I like to wait until Norra is leveled and I have enough mana for Portal Palooza. So ideally you could get like you know, your Norra leveled, and then you go play leveled Norra, they try to remove it with something, and you say in response portal palooza, you can get at least one portal of a bigger, you know, 4, 5, 6, or 7 cost unit. That's a pretty nice trick to kind of say, okay, if you have the removal, I still have an answer to it, and then if you don't have the removal, obviously I'm just gonna, you know, pop off with Norra things. And that's really nice to do. On top of that, this version's playing some aloof travelers, so you can discard their Swain, discard their Leviathan. That's always going to be the most expensive cards in their deck. So that's always nice. That's another way to deal with really good units. This card is also good against TF Nami, or Nami Ionia, because you can discard their Lee Sin, discard their Shellys. Granted, that matchup is going to be really bad for you anyways, but this gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So these are the 3 decks I would highly recommend. Of course, play whatever deck you're the most comfortable with, and play whatever deck you're really good at. That's always going to be first and foremost. And then next we'll talk about lineups here. So going into the Last Chance Gauntlet, there's basically a couple lineups you can bring. There's the lineup of just ban Nami and then beat everything else, or beat all of the mid-range stuff. So that's going to be your like TF Swain, your Norra Veigar, and then probably also just Nami yourself. Like, honestly, this lineup right here is insanely strong. Like, this is probably, if seasonals was this weekend, this would be my lineup here, because like Poppy Taric is just so insanely strong that you can kind of just beat anything, especially with your random like 2-card Exodia of Taric plus Golden Ages. And then Heimer Norra beats a lot of the same stuff. It's going to beat all of the aggro decks. It's going to beat all of the smaller decks. You're going to beat TF Swain also. And then, of course, you have Nami Ionia, which is probably just going to get banned every round. But if it doesn't, this deck should also be strong enough to beat just about anything. Especially if you're just playing like Lee Sin and OTKing your opponent on turn 7 for no reason. Stuff like that. So this would honestly be my lineup for seasonals. You could be on a triple Demacia lineup. That's going to be something like, or sorry, triple rally lineup, which is going to be Poppy Taric, Scout, and then the third rally deck is actually just going to be like Red Gwyn or something like that. Red Gwyn is really good into a lot of the decks that the rally decks beat also, because even though you don't play an actual rally card, you play Ruin Reckoner, which is like a pseudo rally. So that's really good. And yeah, so those are the decks I would recommend for a seasonal lineup. Of course, big asterisk, the most important thing is to play decks that you know how to play decks you're comfortable with. Don't first time decks this weekend if you're trying to get to 700 LP. Don't first time decks in your Last Chance Gauntlet and then yell at me and get mad at me. Or play decks you're super comfortable with. But these would be the 3 decks that I would highly recommend playing this weekend in either your Last Chance Gauntlet or your Ranked Climb, stuff like that. So that's gonna be it for this video. That's gonna be it for this Sweaty Thursday. I hope you guys do well. Join the Discord down below. It's a great competitive Discord, the #1 place for competitive LoR in my opinion. There's a lot of people, I was gonna show you, but I have some DMs I need to respond to. But a lot of people are like hitting Masters for the first time, Diamond for the first time, and they're all like sharing it in my Discord chat. A lot of people have been helping each other. They help each other every weekend with gauntlet lineups, saying like what worked for them, what didn't, what they've seen a lot of, so other people can know, hey, you guys are seeing a lot of this in Gauntlet, okay, let me try and, you know, prepare for that, stuff like that. So join my Discord, links down in the description below, #1 place for LoR competitive content. That's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.